Chicago, like most big cities, has its fair share of unsolved crime. And in most of these cases, somebody saw or heard something. Somebody may have seen a suspicious person, a car driving away from the scene, or simply overheard somebody talking about the case. With your help, we can put these criminals behind bars where they belong. Here in Chicago, we have too many unsolved murders. We need your help. In these cases, the police department is only as strong as the citizens that get involved. Oftentimes, all the detectives need is a tip, a start. Somebody to call in and say, I saw something. Any little information that you know can be the impetus to solve the entire case. On tonight's episode, we'll take a look at the case of Odie Gray. On March 17th, 2013, East Chicago police received a call about a man laying face down on the ground. When the police arrived on the 3900 block of Evergreen Street, they found Odie Gray with multiple stab wounds. Here's his story.
I have 11 brothers and sisters, and Odie is number 9. We were a very close-knit family. We fought a lot, and we loved a lot. My mom, she was like ruled with an iron fist, but, she kept the family together. Growing up with Odie was just like a big bear. He's a big guy. But thing about it, he was very lovable, and he was very friendly. He loved to smile. He had the beautiful smile. And everybody he came in contact, they really loved him. They would call him Big Bear. He was more, he liked to socialize with lots of people. He loved to talk, loved to party, always being around someone, and he was very, very helpful. So, everybody in the neighborhood knew him, and no matter what race you are, once you get to know him, you'll never forget him, because he'll make sure, because next time he see you, hey, Joe, and Joe look at him and say, who are you? You remember me, Joe, from so-and-so? So he's very, very friendly person. He's a people person, and people love him, see him come. And I think sometimes they love him see him go too, because once he gets to talking, he had lots of different nicknames. They call him Big O, because like I say, he was a big person. And lots of time he would do security, because he was such a big person, And when he does security at parties and stuff, they know they couldn't get past him, because, he was just like a big bull, You just couldn't get past him. And I miss him a lot, because every day he would come to my house, and he had a certain knock. And when he knocked on the door, I know it was him. And so one day the knocks and stopped. And I hope one day that I get to meet him again. I really miss him. My whole family miss him.
My name is Detective Washington from the East Chicago Police Department. I was assigned to investigate a homicide that occurred at 3922 Evergreen Street in East Chicago, Indiana. When I arrived on the scene, I spoke with first responding officer Jimmy Manuel, who stated that the victim was in the rear of 3922 Evergreen Street. The victim was later identified as Odie Gray from East Chicago. The crime was reported by a dog walker that was walking his dog and noticed that a body was laying on the ground unresponsive. After that, he in turn then called the police department, and we arrived on the scene. After that, I spoke with some other people that may have come in contact with Mr. Gray, and they stated that he had went to the local club, which is D-Max on Guthrie Street, up until closing time, which was around approximately 3 o'clock in the morning. After that, he was also seen at the local liquor store buying a beer and also talking to the worker that's inside of the liquor store. And the worker at the time stated that Mr. Gray was alone. After that, his vehicle was spotted in front of his residence on the 3900 block of Evergreen. Door was open, car was running, music was playing, and the victim was spotted a couple doors down. He was face down with several stab wounds to his body, to his chest and back area.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been the victim of discrimination or had your rights violated? Have you been injured? If so, the lawyers at Hale Law would love to talk to you. We offer a free consultation. Call me, Andy Hale, 312-870-6926. 312-870-6926. I look forward to talking with you about your case.
On March 17, 2013, approximately 5 a.m. in the morning, I received a phone call stating that there was a homicide occurred at the 3900 block of Evergreen. When I arrived on scene, I spoke with first responding officer Jimmy Manuel, who stated that the victim was Odie Gray. He also advised me that a dog walker had spotted the victim laying on the ground in the rear, unresponsive, and that's when he called the police department.
I was at work and they called me. I had about 20 minutes left on my job, and my son called me and they said, well, they found Odie, murdered. And I said, I just couldn't comprehend, what are you saying, I got in the car and I went, by my sister's house, and everyone was gathered there. And I said, what happened? They really didn't know, and then it set in that he was murdered. So then I got in contact with the police and asked them, what happened? And they said that someone stabbed him in the back a couple times, and he bled out. They just stabbed him and left him there.
After speaking with Officer Manuel, I spoke with several neighbors in the neighborhood. A couple of neighbors stated that they heard some arguing with two individuals, two male subjects. They didn't know who they were, but they did hear some yelling around that time for about 10-15 minutes, and then arguing stopped. And then at that point, they didn't know what was going on until they saw the police come out and seen the body on the ground that day.
No one really could believe it at first. I guess you think he would never die that way. Someone just leaving to bleed out. So, but the thing about it, I guess we all have to face, what's going on. And once we realize that it was, he was dead, then it was time to find answers. The police, they went out and they tried to investigate, and different people told them different things, and they led from, they had different leads, and it didn't pan out. And now here it is a year later, and we still haven't closed the case, So we're looking for closure. He has one son, he's looking for closure, and he was going back to the service 3 days later, and that's postponed, and it changed his whole life around, He could not cope with what was going on. And like he said that, you go over there to fight and everything, you come back and you still fighting a battle here. So he would like some closure as a son. Please give him closure as well as, my family. His dad was his best friend, and now that's no longer. He was my brother, that's no longer, So if anyone know anything, put yourself in my position today, Hope one of your loved ones do not get murdered like mine's did. But if you have some kind of heart, would you please call the East Chicago Police and let them know the information that you have. It could be just a small piece, just anything, I'm hoping today that, someone out there would know something. People need closure, and that's why I'm here today, to find out some type of closure.
The area that the victim was found was 3900 block Evergreen Street. It's a residential area. Possibly the victim was last seen with a male subject. If anybody have any information on this possible subject that he was with, if someone have seen this or heard anything about it, we're looking for potential witnesses, any leads, or any information that could lead to an arrest of the homicide of Odie Gray. Please give me a call at the East Chicago Police Department. My number is area code 219-391-8461 and ask for Detective Washington. Looking for any tips, leads that anybody else may have in reference to this case. We want to put closure to this case and justice for his family.
The cases you just watched remain unsolved, and we need your help. If you have any information on tonight's episode or any other cases, please give our detectives a call. We need our communities to come together so we can take back our streets and make our neighborhoods a safer place.